Hello, this is Jed Distler, and I'm in Warsaw. I've been here since late September for the 19th Chopin competition, and I'm in the press lounge. There were no competition performances yesterday, but the Chopin Report never sleeps. It seems like I never sleep these days as well. Anyway, the Chopin Institute has a fabulous record label, and they have a catalog that's just been exploding for years with many Chopin releases that feature past and present competitors from all the competition years, and they feature jury members too, come to think of it. There are a lot of archival recordings from past competitions. There are numerous studio recordings, brand new recordings that feature Chopin on period instruments, but there are plenty of performances on modern concert grands. And there are many releases devoted to other composers. And if you've been lucky enough to have been attending the competition in person, I'm sure you've seen many of these releases for sale in the stores in the Philharmonic, and you can find these in physical CD format. But they also are available, of course, as downloads and through streaming platforms. I've picked 5 releases that I have reviewed in the past for Gramophone and classicstoday.com that I highly recommend, and these releases have a prominent place in my own music collection. I want to talk first about a 2-disc set of live performances with Kate Liu from the 2015 International Warsaw Competition. She was a finalist that year, of course, and she's acquired a kind of cult following over the years. So the collection has some etudes, various short pieces, a wonderful 4th ballade, the F minor fantasy, the E minor concerto, the Andante spinato and Grand Polonaise, and one of the most heavenly performances imaginable of the Nocturne in B major, Opus 62, number 1. And this is a performance that Garrick Olson mentioned on Ben Laudy's Chopin podcast, and that's where I became aware of it. And you can hear why Garrick Olson raves about this performance, and I know you will too after you hear it. There is also a recording by Adam Harasiewicz. I hope I'm pronouncing his name reasonably well. Please forgive me. I'm not going to say his name again. I'm just going to call him Adam. But this is a 2011 release with Adam, you can say his last name, playing all of the Chopin mazurkas. And this pianist has lived with the mazurkas probably for all of his life. And he did record a good number of them many years ago for the Philips label. But this complete cycle is really a summation of the whole. And he has a respectful yet fresh approach to the text and an absolutely idiomatic command of the music with a lot of flexibility. It's a very beautiful mazurka cycle, and it's exceptionally well recorded. My friend and colleague, Ewa Pobłocka, who also is on the jury this year, recommended that I listen to Dang Tai Son playing the 2 Chopin concertos on period instruments. She said, these are some of the best performances I've ever heard. And she was absolutely right. Dang Tai Son, of course, was the 1980 gold medalist, and he also is on the jury this year. And he's accompanied by Franz Bruggen and the Orchestra of the 18th Century. This is one of the best period instrument versions out there of the Chopin concertos. And Dang Tai Son's mindful virtuosity and the vibrant timbres and colors that Franz Bruggen elicits from his ensemble impart a kind of lightness and spring to these performances that also makes them sound like contemporary music. And the first desk soloists play with tons of character. And as ideal as the piano playing is, when you have a conductor who brings such loving care to accompaniments that usually are taken for granted, it does make a huge difference with the Chopin concertos. So definitely check this release out. I also want to recommend Ewa Pobłocka's recordings of J.S. Bach's Well-Tempered Clavier on the Modern Concert Grand. I had reviewed Book 1 for Gramophone a few years ago, and I'm going to quote from my review. I wrote that, "Wary as I am of superlatives, I can claim without hesitation that Ewa Pobłocka's Well-Tempered Clavier Book 1 encompasses some of the greatest and most fulfilling Bach pianism on record. Her Bach playing has everything going for it: pianistic resourcefulness in a way that makes the music sound completely comfortable on a concert grand. She has keen polyphonic acumen, she has impeccable taste, and she has the ability to imbue each prelude and fugue with a distinct point of view born out of musical considerations." Well, I agree with what I say. And now the last release I want to recommend is great fun. This is such a cool project. Now, have you ever had the desire to hear Mozart's opera Don Giovanni without an orchestra and without any singers? Well, thanks to the Chopin Institute, you've come to the right place. Did you know that Georges Bizet, who is the composer of the opera Carmen, had transcribed the entire Don Giovanni for piano solo, and that his transcription was actually published back in 1866? I mean, who knew this existed? None other than the world's foremost transcription maniac, Cyprien Katsaris. Now, it would be enough just for Cyprien to play all of the notes and to make the orchestral textures and vocal lines sound reasonably pianistic, but he does so much more than that in this recording. He finds all kinds of colors and shadings and articulations that kind of transport you into the opera house in your mind. And his piano playing is very much like a conductor who has the ability to create a very vibrant synergy between the orchestra pit and the singers on stage. And there are so many amazing details, like a lot of the détaché writing doesn't sound so much like a piano as like it sounds like a cackling woodwind ensemble. And listen to how Cyprien ignites those low register tremolos in the Act 2 finale, and immediately you get images of the fires of hell consuming Don Giovanni at the end of the opera. Also, the Polish Radio Studio's Bechstein Grand piano on this recording has just the right rich yet biting sonority that I think is perfect for this transcription. So I think on this recording you should put a sign on it that says "Hands off private property. This belongs to Cyprien Katsaris." So these 5 releases really are just the tip of the iceberg as far as what the Chopin Institute's label has to offer. And I can go on and on talking about other distinctive releases from them, many of which I've reviewed. But go to the website and go take a look at what they have to offer, because a real treasure trove awaits you. So we will be recapping the first evening of the competition finals tomorrow, and I'm about to go over to the concert now as I wrap up this video. So until tomorrow, this is Jed Distler from Warsaw, and please stay well, take care, and be kind to one another.